could tell Keeley he's not good enough for some dude that hasn't showed up in 8 games over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Time last year, Cooper DeJean pulled his hammy while working out by himself, so that was his setback. So I guess it's just fingers crossed right now. Nobody important has any issues like that. Other than that, man, it's real quiet on the front, and I see that's top spot, top landing spot,
yeah,
top landing spot.
Yeah, right in there, right.
You gotta have him.
Yeah, I mean, got it. We talking rumors. We talking.
I don't see it. I don't see it happening. You're talking about a player who has only played in, forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't know. It hasn't been a lot of games for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
He's highly talented. He's still at a ripe age. I don't see a fit for what the Eagles did all offseason. You don't trade Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to go sign Jaire Alexander just because he got cut. They knew he was going to get cut months ago. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you don't cut a guy if someone's offering a conditional 7th. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if no one's offering a conditional 7th, you know that the player's going to get cut. The player ended up getting cut. From what I understand, there are multiple teams interested. Pittsburgh is one of those. So I do not see Philly being involved in Jaire. The only time I could see them pivot to Jaire is an injury to Keeley or Adoree', mainly Keeley.
Yep.
And I still just see that they've made their investment at veteran outside corner, and that's Adoree' Jackson. And plus the price tag that Jaire would want. I can't. He does not come off as the type of player that would take a team-friendly deal just to try to win a Super Bowl. He's still got some money to be made in this league.
I'm seeing different reports. I'm seeing one, it was like 16 million, 17 million. And then I saw another one where Jaire is on the boat of doing a prove it type deal. Just to give
prove it for him is still 7 to 8 million. So let's not take this as this guy is going to get a veteran minimum deal. That's not going to happen. He doesn't have any money coming from. He doesn't have any guaranteed money just floating around. Again, you're talking about a guy who has had some pretty weird injuries over the last few years. I mean, he has been inconsistent as far as showing up on the field. I just don't. I don't see the fit. Now, I will say.
I mean, he's a Philly kid. I think that's where my cut.
So is Kyle Pitts. I mean, that was stupid too. Like, they're not giving up a 2 or a 3 to trade for a kid that. When they just went out of their way to rework Dallas Goedert's deal, and they've signed like 4 tight ends this offseason.
I think every kid that plays football in Philly has a dream of playing for the Eagles, some way or somehow.
Well,
unless your dad was a Dallas fan or a Niners fan or an old school 90s fan of a team that had an era, and you just always grew up that fan. That's how those, Cowboy fans are in Philadelphia. They're their fathers or their fathers. It's the same thing with Parsons. Like, Parsons' dad is a Dallas Cowboys fan. His grandpop is a Cowboys fan. So it was just ingrained in the culture of their family dynamic. So for me, Marcus, I do get the sense in the of the player wanting to play for their home team, but it has to still be a fit, right?
From what I understand, the same account that said Jaire Alexander wants to play for the Eagles is the same account that said Josh Uche came out as gay. And as far as I understand, he had to discredit those things. So I have nothing on the front of Jaire Alexander and being remotely interested in going to Philly. So, so I could be totally wrong. They could sign him tomorrow. I don't know, but I just do not see a world in where they're going to give up on Keeley Ringo at this point in the offseason.
I agree.
He's done nothing to show that. In fact, he actually came out of the mandatory minicamp looking better than a lot of people thought he would look.
No, I agree with what you're saying because by bringing Alexander in, you push everybody down, especially Ringo. There's no way.
It's a numbers and it's a math game, and where his piece fits in the Tetris thing, it's just he's too big.
And they have a culture here. We have a culture here, and that defense is young. They're all going to grow together.
What does it tell Jalen Carter? What does it tell Jordan Davis? What does it tell Nakobe Dean?
Right.
Just the Georgia guys. When you tell Keeley he's not good enough for some dude that hasn't showed up in 8 games over the past 2 years.
Yeah. They'll find out about the business real quick. I mean, I know some of them are anyway.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think that's more real to Jaire Alexander's situation than it is to Keely Ringo. I think Keely Ringo has more of an opportunity than Alexander has, and that's not even close. I mean, Keely has a chance as about to turn 23 years old to be a starting corner on a potential dynasty right now as a draft pick and a developed player, as opposed to a washed-up veteran looking for a job that anybody could take. What's he going to do? Sign with the Cowboys?
Yeah,
I mean, sign with Diggs, sign with that. What are you going to do? Sign with the Steelers and sit opposite Darius Slay? I mean, you're 28 years old. You haven't played in a full season in 3 years. I mean, what do what do you bring to the table? That's my question, Jaire. And I'm a big fan of your game, but I don't see a scenario in which Philly plus Jaire Alexander makes sense.